Seal to Silver coming for you. Con gameplay, storie e review, la noia non c'è più. Dai, tuffati anche tu nel mondo di Sion.
Salve a tutti cari amici e bentornati su GreedFall. Dunque, dobbiamo concludere la missione personale di Kurt e come vedete qui c'è salva recluta William dalla sua punizione notturna e arresta il capitano Rolf. Per prima cosa noi salveremo William, è prioritario salvare il ragazzo, dopodiché andremo ad arrestare il capitano. Quindi spingiamoci da qua, una nuova zona della mappa, e penso che sia sufficiente andare dritti, qui.
Despite what Wilhelm told me, I wasn't expecting this. He's getting destroyed.
They'll kill him. We can't let them get away with it.
I'll teach you how to dance. Come on, I'll teach you how to dance.
Allora, ok. Entrati in battaglia, ma maledizione, ecco qua.
Come on, I'll teach you how to
Stop!
dance.
We won't let you kill this boy like you killed Rainer.
Soldiers, do you realize what you're doing? Captain? But...
You shouldn't be here. This time, you won't get away with it. Times!
Allora, carisma.
When my master of arms was in the guard, he always repeated, fight with honor. What honor is there in lynching one of your own when he's defenseless? What honor is there in being forced to kill one another the moment one of you refuses to toe the line?
None. We followed orders, nothing more.
You've been manipulated. But it's not too late to refuse all of this, to act with honor.
You're right, Captain. It's over, Lieutenant. We will no longer beat our own.
Imbeciles! Traitors!
To my help! And death to the others!
Watch out! Grenade!
Kurt bello deciso è partito,
Will you be all right?
I'm wounded, but I'll survive. Thanks to you. I'm eternally grateful.
Come, Wilhelm. We'll help you get home. We owe you that at least.
I'm counting on you to bring him back to the camp in one piece.
Yes, Captain.
Well then, let's go. We can't let that vermin Rolf escape us.
Sicuramente. Quindi ragazzi abbiamo ottenuto reputazione con Kurt, abbiamo ottenuto quest'arma che sembra veramente forte. Vediamo se Kurt la può equipaggiare. Sì, è più forte della Claymore che ha, quindi lo facciamo passare con le armi pesanti, contundenti. Recuperiamo la nostra trappola e torniamo indietro.
Let's hope that Rolf didn't hear the sounds of combat. Surprise is our best ally.
You're right. Let's try to approach discreetly.
Beh, ma però era imperativo salvare William. Se Rolf scappa, io sono soddisfatto così. Allora, vediamo qua. Probabilmente dobbiamo uscire da
It's
qui.
blocked. It's blocked.
Allora, aspettate, mappa. Ci deve essere un altro modo per accedere dall'interno del forte. Che ci faccia uscire dietro, vedete? Ed è in basso. Ecco qua la porta. Ok, fuori. Allora, proviamo a passare di qua, sperando che nessuno ci veda. Innanzitutto possiamo sbloccare quella porta. Fatemi fare un tentativo. aveva sbarrato, vedete, ma così abbiamo shotgun. No, non volevo tornare indietro, anche perché ora si chiuderà. Vabbè, era da fare di sbloccare lo shotgun.
It's blocked.
Maledizione, è bloccata anche questa. E ora dove passiamo? Probabilmente dal campo. Allora, mi dispiace ma dovremo ricorrere all'assassinio dei soldati. E lo so, evita perdite tra le reclute, però ci avrebbe comunque attaccato. Purtroppo dobbiamo passare.
To my help! And death to the
Watch out! Grenade!
Dai giù.
move away!
Comunque ragazzi, avete visto, sì. Facciamo così l'attacco furtivo. Allora, raccogliamo tutto. Mai che troviamo dei nuovi pezzi di equipaggiamento. Qui ci ha obbligato a passare in mezzo ai soldati, avete visto? Come strada. Ok, se noi veniamo qui a questo punto dove si passa? A meno che non ci sia una strada ancora più lunga. Ah, ecco qua, guardate.
Kurtz, you're so predictable. I knew you were a bastard, but I didn't think you'd be part of this disgrace.
Have fun, soldiers! The traitors must die!
Stop! Soldiers, are you really going to obey these scoundrels? Do I need to remind you of the Guard's motto? Where is your honor?
I won't repeat myself, recruits. Execute these traitors!
Soldiers, listen to your captain. You are the victims of these monsters, and we are here to save you. We surrendered without resistance, to avoid a fight, and to spare your lives.
Well, what do you want us to do? We have orders, and we know what will happen to us if we don't obey.
Enough! To arms! Attack!
Allora, usiamo il carisma, ragazzi.
Must I remind you what happened to Rainer?
And however many others perished to fuel the ambitions of this camp's leader.
Is this what you were promised when you were recruited?
Maybe not. But this is how one becomes an elite soldier. The best!
Exactly. And no tenderfoot in a silk suit would understand anything about it.
Attack!
To my
Il
help!
carisma non ha funzionato.
Death to the... Let's see what you're capable of.
Era al 100% il carisma.
Your men were thrashed. You disappoint me, Lieutenant. I expected better from your troops. I'm sorry, Captain. But where's the second squadron? They should have been here a long time ago.
Forget them, Rolf. They're not coming back.
They were smart enough to surrender. It's just the two of you now.
Now that you no longer have lackeys to send after us, Rolf, you'll have to get your own hands dirty.
I've dreamt of shutting that big mouth of yours up for so long.
To
Ok,
my help!
venite giù.
And death to the others!
Watch out!
Siamo un colpo, ragazzi. Allora, vediamo qua. Prima raccogliamo tutto, Abbiamo trovato un pezzo di armatura che magari sarà buono per il nostro... Ecco, io sto trovando armatura a tutto andare,
Will you be all right, Kurt?
Yes. Yes. I'll be fine. I'm just glad to know that this camp won't kill anyone else.
What about you, Wilhelm?
Thank you for saving my life. Without you...
I hope you can forget all about this. This is not what the Guard is about.
I don't know if you'll be able to forgive us, Wilhelm.
I've been in your shoes on other nights. You didn't have the choice.
While we wait for this camp to close for good, you'll be under Wilhelm's command. You'll soon receive your transfer orders.
At your orders, Captain.
You'll stay here for now. I'll send men I trust to come get you soon.
What do you want us to do?
I'll need backup if I really want to put an end to all of this. We must go see Major Sieglinder in New Serene. I need to tell her what was going on here.
Are you sure she wasn't involved?
Her? Never. She's old school. She already held the commander at a distance because she didn't like the direction the Guard was headed. He would have sacked her, or worse, if she didn't have so much support within the Guard. I should have listened to her.
There's no use brooding over the past. Let's go. We'll go and see her immediately.
Avrei voluto aiutare i corpi dei nemici, ma a quanto pare non è andata bene. Tornerò io a vedere se saranno ancora a terra e se ci saranno altri oggetti leggendari lì da prendere. Ora andiamo direttamente a Nuova Serena, tanto l'accampamento lì vicino lo conosco qual è, e vediamo cosa accade. Ok, questi sono spostamenti di re.
Sieglinder, I need to talk to you.
What's the matter, Kurt?
We've just returned from a training camp, a secret camp, where elite soldiers are trained through terror, humiliation, and torture.
Don't tell me that.
Yes. One of my recruits died, and he wasn't the only one. It is designed to create a regiment of assassins.
I am sorry, Kurt. I knew something was wrong, but I never would have thought it'd go that far.
We put an end to it all. We had to. But Torsten allowed it, even encouraged it.
I told you that the commander's ambition would end up leading us astray from the ideals of the Guard, and that we would pay the price for it.
Yes. At the time, I told you you were exaggerating. That he had his reasons.
What are you gonna do?
I'm going to speak out, Sieglinder. And reveal the commander's project to the governor of the congregation.
If I were as close to him and his family as you are, I would have done so a long time ago.
I know. I feel so stupid for not having understood Torsten's scheme until now.
You've always been a loyal person, Kurt. And too many loyalties are sometimes hard to reconcile. But Torsten betrayed us all. I'm counting on you to make him pay for it.
Believe me, he won't get away with it. Goodbye, Sieglinder.
Goodbye, Kurt. My men and I stand with you.
Allora, la missione è finita, ragazzi. Kurt, reputazione amichevole, come vedete. E ora possiamo parlare forse con lui e proseguire la missione.
Greenblood, my friend. Do you need something?
Andare da su? No, probabilmente vai via.
I must leave you.
Probabilmente, signori, dobbiamo aspettare che qualcos'altro si evolva da questo punto. Quindi entriamo di qua, sperando di non perderci a ripetizione, e lì abbiamo la via d'uscita. Ok, eccoci nuovamente a Nuova Serena, abbiamo già un forziere da razziare, già che siamo qui. E vediamo subito, ragazzi. Allora, cosa possiamo fare adesso che siamo a metà episodio più o meno? Missioni secondarie, abbiamo le origini di Telem, guai a Eden. Quindi questa era la missione che ci ha dato la nostra, come vi ricordate, madre superiore. Quindi vediamo dove dobbiamo andare, fuori da qui. Quindi sì, la via ce l'abbiamo spianata e da lì viaggeremo rapidi. Poi guarderò meglio gli equipaggiamenti e tutto tutto il resto una volta che avrò finito l'episodio e potrò riequipaggiarmi. Siamo a 21 e mezzo quasi. Manca ancora un po' per equipaggiare il nostro spadone di qualità leggendaria, ma sono fiducioso. E poi dopo, una volta che avremo agilità 5 nella nostra build, faremo il... ecco qua, viaggia. Dove dobbiamo andare? A San Matteo, immagino? No, dobbiamo andare alle terre nere. Quindi andiamo all'accampamento di Eden, vai. Eccoci qua. Allora. No, teniamo questo per adesso. Dopo essere stati all'accampamento di mezzeria, come dico sempre, adesso abbiamo il vero caricamento per le terre nere, che ha visto anche una parte di quest principale, come ben sapete. Oramai GreedFall, come vi dico sempre, ho deciso di portarvelo nella sua interezza, gestendo episodi speciali, e questi episodi proprio li metto nella playlist ufficiale perché giustamente erano li ho fatti per essere messi qua, siccome ho sbloccato tutto durante la quest principale. Abbiamo dei nemici. Allora, vediamo. Sì, dobbiamo andare qui. L'avevo già trovata
What
questa
an
zona.
astounding place. This must be the village of Eden that the Mother Cardinal told us about. All that's left to do is to find Father Justinius.
Ok, eccolo. Quindi proseguiremo in questa missione d'ora in poi.
Welcome to Eden, the lighthouse of faith, harmony, and civilization in these wild lands.
Thank you. Desade. I'm the legate of the merchant congregation.
And I am Father Justinius. Delighted. And what may I do for you?
Chiedigli delle tavole rubate.
The Mother Cardinal has asked me to investigate the theft of these tablets you discovered.
That's excellent news. The loss of the tablets is a catastrophe. We have to find them at all costs. If you want to learn more about these tablets, you should go ask Sister Eugenia. She supervises the theologians who discovered them, and were also guarding them. You should find her a bit further in the village, with her colleagues.
Who are the suspects of this theft?
The heretical brutes of the village of Vedlug most likely had a hand in this. They must have wanted to please the demons they worship by stealing the holy word from us.
How could they have learned of the tablet's existence?
Perhaps the demons are giving them this power. Unless one of the natives living in the village innocently mentioned them. They are so naive. Either way, I am certain that the heretics are involved in this matter.
Ok, vai.
I must leave you. Goodbye.
May the enlightened always keep you in their divine blessing.
I never thought I'd see natives living like this, side by side with the settlers. I doubt that things happened as harmoniously as they'd like us to believe.
It all seems a bit too convenient. If we find out some information about the history of Eden, maybe we'll change our view on things. The theft of the relic is probably not a coincidence.
Allora, non ho chiamato la mappa nel mentre, ma alloggi dei missionari, dobbiamo raggiungere quel luogo lì, vedete? Ah, potremmo parlare ancora anche con lui, ma non credo che avrà altre opzioni di dialogo da darci, quindi scendiamo. Allora, fatemi vedere bene. Abbiamo la dimora del caporer per scoprire di più sulla storia di Eden, però in questo modo ci tracca tutto.
To my help, and death to the others!
Davanti, la trappola, schivano in ogni modo. Cosa incredibile, non si riesce a farli andare su una trappola che è una i nemici. Sto cercando di fare il trofeo, come avrete ben capito, di avvelenare tutti i nemici con le trappole, ma probabilmente magari con le pozioni facciamo prima ad avvelenare. Adesso vediamo un attimo, perché volevo spostarmi anche sull'albero della magia, ma Avendo così poco mana, non so quanto può essere una buona idea. Allora, la casa del capovillaggio è all'interno, purtroppo, quindi abbiamo sbagliato strada, come sempre. Quindi vediamo se andando di qui riusciamo a raggiungere una sorta di casa. Eccolo lì. Vai, e otteniamo di più in casa sua. Gli faremo domande per ottenere di più. Intanto lootiamo quello che c'è in casa sua, perché si vede che funziona così.
Hello. I am Lair, the village leader. Well, I was the leader of this village.
Hello, Desade. I am the legate of the merchant congregation.
There are Onolmenawi among the Logaed Blau. I did not know that. What do you want from me?
Allora, chiediamo di Eden.
I've heard a lot of things about this village of Eden, but I'd like to hear your version.
I'm not sure I have the answers to all of your questions, but I'll try.
L'arrivo di Telem.
Tell me about the arrival of the people of Teleme, and how you received them.
The priests were roaming around the village. They were saying that it was the place where their saint had lived. They were asking questions, talking about the Lloyd and all these things. One morning they were building houses next to ours. And we had new neighbors.
Chiediamo come è avvenuta la
The
conversione.
priests told me that they had managed to convert you. How did that happen?
As long as we refused to listen to them, they were violent, and they destroyed some of our sanctuaries. So we let them talk. And now that they think that we love their god, they leave us alone. Some of the things they say are beautiful, and their magic is impressive. But we do not forget our spirits.
Chiedi della scoperta delle tavole.
One of the theologians told me that you had helped them in their research.
They wanted to find tracks of the old sage, of the one they call San Matteo, and they were rummaging through everything. Our Donegad did not want to tell them anything, because the old sage is sacred here. But since they violently interrogated everyone, I thought it wise to guide them to the place where the stones were.
Chiedi cosa è successo con i guerrieri.
What happened to your warriors? Why did they have to leave the village?
They did not accept the presence of the priests and their questions. They tried to retake the village. They even asked Deirdre, the chief of Vedlug, for her help. So, the priests called the Soul Lasser, the Burning Suns, and they killed many of them. I asked for peace, and the others left us. They wanted to join Vedlug. Perhaps they have done so.
Aren't you angry after all that happened?
No. I mourn those who died, of course, and the Vorstyrent. But this village may be our opportunity.
Your opportunity for what?
For the Renaigse to understand who we are. Not savages, nor monsters, but men, perhaps wiser than they are.
Andiamo via.
I have to go.
Like so many others.
Allora. Ok, mettiamo qua. E a questo punto fatemi vedere. Interroga i teologi. Perfetto. Allora, proseguiamo di qua. Sembra esserci proprio la sede della Santa Inquisizione. Vediamo se scendiamo di qua. Sì, è giusto, di qui. E poi abbiamo anche altre persone con cui parlare.
Hello. The Mother Cardinal asked me to help you find the tablets that were stolen. Can I ask you some questions?
Of course. But hurry, I have a lot to do.
Chiediamolo le tavole rubate.
I talked to Father Justinius. He told me that you were supervising the theologians here.
Indeed. It is under my supervision that the research on Saint Matthias is conducted.
Chi è il ladro? Chi sospetta?
Whom do you suspect of being the thief?
Alas. I'm afraid there are many suspects. These tablets are priceless relics. Some settlers may have fallen prey to the lure of profit. The heretical natives of Vedlug may have wanted to take them away from us, or it could have been vengeance by those who had to leave the village.
Dove si trovano le tavole?
Where were the tablets the night they were stolen?
We were keeping them in one of the village's shacks. We intended to bring them to San Matteo later, but first we wanted to examine them in order to obtain as much information as possible. You can go and take a look in the shack if you want to, but I couldn't find any traces of forced entry.
Chiedi se sorvegliamo.
I imagine someone was keeping watch over them.
Of course, we took turns guarding the shack. But some of us can't have taken the task that seriously. If I remember correctly, it was Brother Virgil who was guarding them that night.
Well, thank you for these pieces of information.
I am the one who should be thanking you. Especially if you managed to retrieve the tablets for us.
Allora, parlare della fondazione di Eden.
The Mother Cardinal told me that this village had been developed on the basis of St. Lucius's writings. Are you one of the theologians who helped in its creation?
Yes. I was sent here to confirm that this place is indeed the one described in the writings, and then I stayed.
Come hanno reagito gli isolani al loro arrivo? Vediamo se dà la stessa versione.
What was the reaction of the natives when you arrived here?
Most of them were not in favor of us living amongst them. They were afraid we might chase them out of their own village. And there were even more protests once we started talking about searching for traces of Saint Matthias. I suppose they thought we would destroy all of their raised stones and other places of superstition.
Chiediamo se ci sono stati degli scontri.
Were there any confrontations with the natives?
Yes. The warriors of the village attacked us. The Ordo Luminous actually had to intervene. The Inquisition managed to make them run away. The islanders tried to attack again with the support of Vedlug, but we stood our ground. And when Lur, the chief of the village, finally accepted our presence, things calmed down.
Thank you. This information will certainly prove to be useful.
Andiamo via.
Thank you. I will let you work.
Potremmo parlare con quest'altra persona.
Do you have any ideas about who stole the tablets?
Some of the village savages helped us during the search. Perhaps they are behind all of this. There was a particular woman who seemed to want us to be there. I don't remember her name, though.
E altri dialoghi, forse, vediamo qua.
If you are saying that these tablets bear writings from the very hand of our holy founder, then we must find them. Without them, all our research to trace the life of Saint Matthias on this island is doomed to failure. If these savages have stolen them,
allora, qua non c'è niente da raccogliere, nessun indizio cardinale che ci può aiutare. Abbiamo un altro dialogo con un personaggio lì e poi forse possiamo tornare da padre Justinus per parlare ancora. Ma ragazzi, che dire, abbiamo registrato veramente tanto tra la fine della missione di Kurt e l'inizio di questa. Il prossimo episodio vedrà l'evolversi di questa missione, ovviamente, ma ve lo registro domani perché oggi vi ho fatto veramente tanti episodi, quindi io vi ringrazio per aver visto questo episodio, vi chiedo di lasciare like se vi è piaciuto, ovviamente vi chiedo di iscrivervi al canale per sapere quando e come, attivando la notifica, mettere online una nuova parte di GreedFall, che è un titolo che ammetto mi sta prendendo in un modo veramente tantissimo, mi sta prendendo in un modo incredibile, potremmo dire, e noi ci vediamo come sempre alla prossima e semplicemente un saluto a tutti voi.